So this was supposed to be my next project bike build on the channel, but unfortunately it has completely failed. From the start, this is always going to be an ambitious project because this is not a bike, it's a scooter. But I learned that scooters have lots of advantages over bikes, and I was just going to change the ergonomics to be more bike-like. So I'd have the benefits of a scooter in the riding position, the ergonomics of an e-bike. And that idea might not be fully dead yet. I could potentially pursue it further. If you guys are interested in this idea, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on this video. But essentially where this all started was with my previous bike build, the P51 that I converted to 72 volts, 4,000 kilowatts of power. Easily one of the best bikes I've ever ridden. But it still wasn't perfect. There's a few things that kind of bugged me about that bike. And that's exactly when I got this scooter to review. This is the Varla Eagle 1 V2. And it really surprised me. And it opened my eyes to the world of scooters that aren't limited in the same way as electric bikes. And what I mean by that is we all know that e-bikes have regulations, right? 28 miles per hour, 750 watt motor. Scooters, to my knowledge, where I live, really don't have any regulations. They're scooters. Not everything has laws and regulations associated with it. So that's why this scooter I'm on right now is just way better out of the box than any bike I've ever experienced. For starters, we have two motors, front and rear, which apparently is a very common thing with scooters. And each one of these motors is, what is that? I think 1,600 watts for a combined power of 3.2 kilowatts. And the acceleration here is just, it's great. I also learned that scooters have surprisingly big battery capacities. I always assumed that bikes would have better range, but that's not the case. These scooters, the deck here is just a battery. And something else I really appreciate about scooters, if I pull over here, is the suspension. This scooter, you can see it's full suspension, and it's good. This is really good suspension. Another thing I really can't say about most bikes I've ever ridden. And that's just something that before I got scooters, I just assumed that they wouldn't have good suspension, good power, good range, but they do. But potentially the most shocking thing of all is the price tag. This scooter, with its 3.2 kilowatts of power, its large battery, full suspension, dual motors, this is only around $1,500. And not to mention, I also just like the more compact size that scooters offer. You get all these specs in a much more compact package that is easy to take on public transit, throw in the back of an SUV. So after getting the scooter, really any way you slice it, I just learned that they're often a better vehicle than e-bikes. The only thing is I don't enjoy riding scooters, right? The position, you have to stand on them. It's kind of awkward, you have a lot less control, it's not as pleasant to ride. The riding experience on bikes is still far superior, at least to somebody like me. So that's where the idea for this next project came into mind. I was going to begin with this scooter as the base because it gets everything right. The suspension, dual motors, the top speed here is 40 miles per hour. Oh yeah, and we also have regen. All these features that are so rare in bikes are pretty standard on scooters. So I was going to take this and just adjust the ergonomics to essentially convert this into a bike form factor. So try to get the best of both worlds. And I started with ordering a seat. So you can see I turned this into a seated scooter. Not every scooter has this option, but the Varla 1 Eagle 2 is compatible with a seat, and they sell this on their website. And I gotta say, riding this scooter with the seat is a very pleasant and fun experience. But the seat is only half the equation. The other half, to properly adjust the ergonomics to be more of a bike analog, is of course the handlebars. This super tall stem when you're seated is impractical. You have a lot of instability. So my plan here was to change the stem for a much more appropriately height BMX handlebar configuration. But unfortunately, this is where I ran into problems. The headset, the different pieces you need, weren't compatible with this scooter. So even though I tried very hard to change it, I'm stuck with these super tall handlebars, which it makes the vehicle impractical in a seated position. At least for long-term riding. I mean, you can do it, I'm doing it right now. But with these super tall handlebars, it doesn't capture the bike ergonomics that I was personally looking for. And that's just a shame, because if this thing had appropriately height BMX-style handlebars, this would be an awesome little vehicle with a ton of power and range. Another feature a lot of scooters have, including this one, that I've never seen before on a bike, is tubeless tires, which are far more puncture resistant. And combining that with the lack of a chain, regen braking, dual hub motors, I still really like the idea of a scooter with bike ergonomics. And if you guys also want to see this conversion, there's another path I could take, and that is starting with the InMotion RS. This is a probably one of the best electric scooters in the market. We're talking a 72 volt battery, 40 amp hour capacity, top speed of 60 miles per hour. And just like with this Varla Eco 1, it's full suspension, dual hub motors, tubeless tires. So it's a great foundation, but unlike this scooter, the handlebars are adjustable height. So I could easily just lower the height of the handlebars to be more appropriate for seated operation. However, it's kind of the inverse of this scooter, because that one isn't natively compatible with a seat. So I'd have to find some other way to attach a seat to that scooter, which I think might be possible. But let me know in the comments below, do you guys agree with this hypothesis to begin with? That scooters are awesome vehicles, and adjusting the ergonomics to be more bike-like would make them that much better. I have been riding the Solar Eclipse version 2.0 a lot lately, and that's just a straight up electric motorcycle. It's a ton of fun, a ton of power. I really enjoy riding that bike or the motorcycle, but I don't think long term I'm going to keep it, because it's huge, especially compared to this scooter. There's also a chain to worry about. You have to constantly adjust the tension, lube it up so it doesn't rust. The tires are not tubeless, so it's only a matter of time before you can flatten that thing. It's a great vehicle, but it's certainly no seated scooter. So that's gonna do it for this update video. Again, I apologize, this was supposed to be my official build video of this scooter, but it just didn't work out. But if you guys like the idea and you want to see me try again, let me know. Leave a comment, like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.